This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Let's get right into the news. All right, so we're talking about the game, okay? The game apparently is still bitter that Dr. Dre took 50 Cent's side over his when they had their feud. Now, why do we know this? Well, Dr. Dre is having he's doing the halftime show for the NFL, and the game's not included, which is a little bit weird because the game is a product of Dr. Dre, and most of the people doing the halftime show are a product of Dr. Dre, except for Mary J. Blige, right? And if you don't remember, the game was about to get dropped from Interscope. He was signed to Dr. Dre, but there wasn't a lot of interest. So, as a favor to Dr. Dre, 50 Cent took the game into the G Unit, helped him rewrite half of his album, and reconstructed the album with Dr. Dre. And then, there was a lot of hype because G Unit was the biggest thing on earth at that time. And, a lot of people were interested in the game. So, his album took off. It went 4 times platinum. But the 50 Cent had a lot of beef around that time with, Jadakiss. Was the Fat Joe beef going around that time? Probably. Then, he had, obviously, Ja Rule. Then he had Nas, right? The Nas thing really stemmed from him being signed to Sony and kind of being under Nas for a little bit. Not, directly under Nas, but, he went on tour with Nas, and they had their little issues. Anyways, the game started trying to be friends with the people that 50 Cent wasn't friends with. And 50 Cent took that as a direct disrespect because, first of all, 50 Cent saved this man's career, right? Second of all, why are you going against the unit? At that time, it's he was the game was publicly trying to call Nas on MTV, and it was just a weird situation. So they had issues. And they had this fake makeup session. I don't know if you guys remember that, where they kissed each other on the cheek almost. In this picture right here. But shortly after that, the game was dropped from Interscope, moved over to Geffen, because Jimmy Iovine and them were going to go with 50 Cent because he was the breadwinner at the time. He had, a slew of artists. He was putting out albums that were going almost diamond. The first one went diamond. The other ones were going practically diamond. And, the game, they didn't know if he was going to do another album. And then also having a feud with 50 Cent, it might not be good. And, these guys started, the game started trying to apply pressure to G Unit. And it just wasn't good. And G Unit was applying pressure back to the game. It was a mess. So now the game's coming out and just talking. First he talked about Interscope and how they, messed him over and all this other stuff a couple weeks ago. And now he's kind of talking about I still can't get over that Dr. Dre, chose 50 Cent over me. Well, you weren't really loyal to 50 Cent. I mean, Game's always doing some weird stuff, man. Even with the whole Kardashian thing. Remember, he was pretending to sleep with each Kardashian. It was just because he was friends with them at one point. I don't know. The game just does a lot of weird stuff, bro. I mean, I'm a big fan of his music because I like his raps. But it's dude, you be doing a lot of weird stuff. Now he's in studio. This is a weird thing, too. Did you see Beanie Sigel and him in studio recently? Now, granted, Meek Mill and Game made up. But in 2016, Meek Mill and the Game were going at it. Beanie Sigel went to studio with Meek Mill to help write he just added some bars to the diss track. Then the next day, or 2 days later, the Game and Whack 100 are up at the Breakfast Club, and they called Beanie Sigel, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he's with us now." That was a weird situation. And then Beanie Sigel, unfortunately, what was it, Tiffy Bay or something, knocked him out backstage. That was whack. But I'm glad Beanie Siegel's hanging out with Kanye now, and he's getting back in the mix. His voice is off, which is unfortunate because he had a priceless voice. But of course, the bars are still there. And him and Freeway are tight. Freeway is good people. See, Beans is in studio with Game now listening to the new album because, you know, he hangs out with Kanye. Kanye did a track with the Game because Whack 100 tricked Kanye into thinking that there was a part 2 to that tape and gave him a hard, you know, some laptop. It's just nuts, bro. But anyways, that's just something that's going on right now because the NFL halftime show. This is Jordan Tower with JT News, man. Smash that like button. News is a little trashy the past couple days, and everything's been a little weird on YouTube. So make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you leave a comment. I don't care if you say hi. Just leave as many comments as you can below. Okay, very important. All right, guys. Peace.